Welcome back to Beginner Miniatures. Today I'm painting Okoye from Marvel Crisis Protocol. I've already cleaned her up and primed her gray. The first thing I'm going to be doing is painting her pants black. The next thing I did is I went over all of her bronze armor with a mix of brown and silver to create a nice metallic brown base coat for it. I had to be really careful when I was getting the underside of some of the ones because this was a very hard spot to reach inside of her skirt. The next thing I did was I used a cork brown to go over the brown parts of her skirt. Then I used a dark desaturated red for the rest of her robes. Then I went over her sash with some more of the metallic brown, and I also went over some of the other armor on her chest that I wanted to be that color. When painting the armor with this color, I had to choose a good mix of this color and the complementary color that I would put on later so it wouldn't look overpowering one way or the other. Then I went over the rest of her armor with a very reddish rose gold, which I made by mixing up a rose gold with red till I got a shade I liked. Then I went over and base coated all of her skin with a dark brown. Then I covered the rest of the metallics with lead belcher as a nice base for my silver. Then I painted in the eyes. The best way I find to do this is to fill it in with some white, and then draw a straight vertical line of black right in the middle, and then push back the edges with the skin base tone. Then I highlighted up the black pants by glazing over it a thin layer of gray in multiple layers on all of the elevated surfaces till I got a look I liked. Then I dry brushed over all of the metallic brown with some bronze to give it a highlight and to give it some nice contrast. Then I glazed on some brighter red over the red parts of the robes on all the elevated areas to get it highlighted. Then I used a dark brown wash over the brown parts of the robes on the outside and the entire inside of the robes to provide it some depth. Now I'm dry brushing over all of the rose gold with some just normal gold to highlight it up. Then for highlighting the skin, I did this just by glazing over lighter shades of brown on all of the elevated surfaces and the surfaces facing up and any of the raised details and anything like that. Then back to the gold armor to finish it up, I went over it with some red wash, and I really think that this brought it all together and made it look great. Then for the paint lines around her head, I just drew some curved red lines across her head. And here on the base, I'm going over it with some thin down gray, which I ended up not liking how it looked, so I came over with some more solid gray to get an even base coat. While that gray was drying for me to put on another coat, I went around the base rim with some black. After I had finished off the base gray, I dry brushed it up with some pure white to make it highlighted. To finish off the base, I went over it with some dark tone wash from Army Painter as a black wash just to get into all the creases and grooves. After a layer of dull coat, she's done. I really liked how she turned out. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thanks!